Aladdin 2019 is one of the campiest things I've ever seen since the Met Gala. To cut a very long story short, the film is not very good at all. I was watching it with a friend, and the entire time I couldn't stop myself from cringing or thinking about how much better the animated film was. It's difficult to say how bad the film is because I think it's not made for people like me. Not for somebody who enjoyed the original back in the 90s and who doesn't appreciate any of these live-action remakes at all. The best one so far has been The Jungle Book, and that's the blandest thing since mayonnaise on a graham cracker. The problem that I find is that Guy Ritchie is an incredibly competent director, and I think that he should actually really direct more musicals. He has a style and flair that I haven't seen in probably about a year and a half. I just feel like most of the time there are so many weird creative decisions, such as making Genie CGI for about 90% of the film. In fact, it only looks normal when Will Smith is a human, and the rest of the time, it hits the uncanny valley so hard, you could swear that the Titanic crashed into it. I do feel like there are definitely good things about the film itself. There are some very amusing moments that entirely rely on cringe comedy. I think the way that they fleshed out Aladdin and Jasmine's character a little bit more is quite good. Jafar kind of feels like he has a little bit more to do, but the problem is that the acting is so subpar. In fact, the only person who isn't really phoning it in is Will Smith, and he is trying his hardest. I didn't love him in this film at all. He spends the entire second act of the movie playing his character from Hitch, except you replace Kevin James with Aladdin. There are so many wonderful things about the film, and I'm sure a younger audience will appreciate it so much, and within time, it could be one of the campiest classics of all time. I really do think that it is up there with like Rocky Horror level style of just complete absurdity covered by the fact that it's $183 million Disney production. I would be a lot more mad at Disney if they hadn't been doing this for over 9 years now. Remember when that Alice in Wonderland remake came out and everyone was like just going crazy about it? And then it made $1 billion, so Disney doubled down on the decision to keep making live-action remakes. Yeah, that film hasn't aged well, and neither will this. All of the animals in the film are CGI. Alan Tudyk is playing Iago, but he just treats himself like he's a regular parrot and not an actual character. The Sultan and Jasmine's relationship, while it is a lot more fleshed out, it just feels too realistic. There are some bits of dialogue and some shots that just remind me of a soap opera, or at its worst points, dialogue from The Room. I do wish the film was better. I really, really wish the film was better, but I struggled to get through this entire film. I haven't walked out of a film in 15 years, but man, this was a struggle. There is no way I would watch this again. You'll probably end up watching it on a plane while drunk on a whole bunch of Singapore slings, and for that I don't begrudge you, but if you give this movie more than maybe $10 or $15 of your money, you only have yourself to blame. I give this film 2 magic carpets out of 5. Mainly because the magic carpet is probably the only good part of the film, and it doesn't look weird. It just looks like a magic carpet that they animated properly to have, you know, some kind of emotion.
You yourself, big fan of the Disney? Land?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, well, no, not like Jamie. Not like I know that's why you're bringing it up because I clicked on her one and it's in her bio that she's a Disney enthusiast. That's weird. I know about those people.
How do you mean weird?
Well, like weird, like something happened to her at Disneyland, or like her. I'm just speculating. Like I didn't. All I saw was Disney enthusiasts. I was like, there's always a story like your dad took you to Disneyland and then just left, or like. I'm making a joke, so if I'm actually like accidentally nailing something, I'm not being. I'm so sorry, but my joke is not funny. But like you know, Disney enthusiasts that are like that go there like 3 times a week and know where all the hidden Mickeys are. Do you know where all the hidden Mickeys are?
Yes, that's why it means so much to me.
No.
Fine acting.